is Ranjana Vaidya. We are today going to have a presentation on investment proof submission. Basically, I would like to request every one of you that please keep your audios off. Whatever questions you have, we'll be taking it at the end of the session. You can type your questions in the chat. Okay, so to start with, I'll be taking you through a small presentation. And after that, I'll even take you through some important points about the documents to be submitted, so that if you have any queries around it, we can take them at the end of the session. Okay, so basically this is a presentation mainly for employees of Remunance and how to do the investment proof submission on the portal for the year 21-22. So this is the year April 21 to March 22, and we'll be collecting the proofs in February. So to start with, as you all know by now that we use Zoho Payroll, and you can directly log in to the portal either through payroll.zoho.com or through people.zoho.com self-service access my payroll. So both the ways you can access your payroll portal. Once you log into your payroll portal, we will be enabling investment proof submissions for all the employees in February, between the period 8th February to 18th February. Okay, so when the investment proof submission is enabled for all the employees, you will get a drop down like this, in which if you click on investment, this screen will be open. It states that financial year 21-22 proof of investment. Zoho always makes a help file available for all the employees, which is quite in detail and is easier to use. So you can download it from this menu. Need help with proof investment? It will download a help file for all of you. To start with the investment proof submission process, you will need to click on investment proof, submit proofs. Okay, so this will be done in two parts. One, you will be inputting the amounts that you have invested or spent. And the second part will be actually attaching the proofs and submitting the proofs online. So here are some important points which I would like you all to look into. Is basically once you submit the proof, the February tax and March tax would be worked out based on the proof submitted by you. So I request you all to submit maximum proofs in the month of February. So tax will get automatically adjusted based on the proof submitted. Any pending proofs if you have, I would request you to claim the same while filing your income tax return. You will never lose any benefit because income tax allows you to claim if anything is pending when you file the return. Form 16 is one more drop-down available on this login. Form 16 is the salary certificate, clearly stating salary paid to you, taxable part of it, TDS deducted, how the TDS is paid. And it's a certificate issued by Income Tax Department. So currently the timeline for issue of Form 16 is 15th of July. So we are in the last quarter of 21-22, and it is now important that you all submit your proofs and get your tax worked accordingly. As you all know, there was investment declaration at the beginning of the year or when you joined Remunance. Based on your investment declaration, tax has been worked out and deducted till date. For month of February and March, tax would be worked out based on actual investments done by you. Do note that if you have previous employer income, I request you to submit it online to the payroll portal so that your tax liability gets worked out correctly. When you have income from more than one employer, your income goes in the higher slab when you file your return, and you'll be required to pay tax with interest if you have not shared the details with us and if the tax has not been worked out correctly. So if you have not furnished till date the previous employer income, I request you to submit it. So when you click on submit proofs, it will take you through all the drop downs available for investment proof submission. As you remember, at the beginning of the year, you have opted for either old tax regime or new tax regime. You can select it only once during the financial year. You cannot change it later. So we have taken this case of a test employee who has selected old tax regime. So it tells me new proof of investment. It has no link with declaration. Suppose you have given declaration for certain heads and now you want to submit the proof for certain different heads. So all the heads will be open and you can go on selecting and declaring the amount first and then attaching the proofs. So this is the screen on which you will just go on providing the required information and the amount of investment. So I have just taken this as an example. It is asking me, are you staying in a rented house? Or are you repaying home loan? Or do you have let out property with or without rental income? These are the different options. Then there will be ATC, then there will be ATD and all. So when I click, the portal is going to guide us through all the points to submit the documents one by one. And you have an option to submit proofs against each drop down which you have selected. So here I have taken a case where I have selected, suppose the employee is staying in a rented house and clicks yes on the portal. Then portal will ask you for the rental period for which you were staying in the rented premise. What was the amount per month? What is the amount for the year? Address of the premise, then landlord name and landlord PAN. Landlord PAN is mandatory if the monthly rent that you are paying is more than 8,333 rupees. Okay, so if you don't provide PAN, system will not accept any rent above 8,333 for giving you tax benefit. Okay, so whenever you click any drop down for submitting the investment proof, please fill in all the details which are asked. Okay, so that we can go ahead with the proper working of tax. Like this system will take you through ATC, ATD, ATE, all benefits which are all the investments which are available for tax benefit under different sections of Section 8. System even allows you to declare if you have any other income which you want the employer to look at, to take into consideration and deduct the tax on it. Why this is required? That suppose those who have higher other source income like interest, then what happens is bank just deducts 10% TDS from interest income, whereas the employee is required to pay 20%, 30% based on his income slab. So this differential amount of 10% or 20% tax, the employee is required to pay when he or she files return, and this will be subjected to interest. So in order to avoid excessive interest payment on delayed taxes, it will be good if you can share that information with us, with Remunance, and Remunance will deduct tax based on his additional income as well. So while filing return, you will not be required to pay any taxes separately. After you submit put in all the information, all the amounts here, you can click on compute tax and can check how the year tax is going to change, whether it is on positive side or whether it is on negative side. If you want to do any changes if you plan to do any additional investment, you can again enter those amount, edit the submission, declare proof submission, and then you can click on save. Okay, once you save it, this screen will be opened. Okay, it will show you that you have saved your proof of investment as draft, because till now you have not given any attachments to it, and the last date of submission is 25th. This will change for the current year. This is for the last year. So it will show you what is your income, what is the total tax as on that income, how much tax is yet to be deducted, and how it will be deducted. So now we have created a case in the month of January. So what is happening is 3 months tax is yet to be deducted, Jan, Feb, March. The system is showing that there is still pending 2,81,736 as tax, which will get deducted as 93,912 per month. So whenever you save your proof, it will clearly show you how much tax is going to get deducted in the month of February and in the month of March. Then the system allows you to select proofs. So here, if you click on this, it will open Explorer and you can attach your copies of investments with the submission. Similarly, you can add comments also if you want to add any comment here. Okay, so when you attach all the documents and add comments, if any, system asks you to click on some undertaking, which says that information given herein above is correct. And then you can submit. Once you submit the proofs, it will again show you that you have submitted your proof of investment. So this is the final step. It means now the proofs are available for the payroll team to verify. However, if you need to modify it, you can modify still because it is awaiting approval. If you see here, you will see a awaiting approval screen here. So till the time payroll team verifies the proofs and accepts them, it will remain as awaiting for approval. Approval from point of view of income tax provisions. So our team will be checking your rental receipts, our team will be checking your PPF documents, whatever documents you have given, our team is going to check it. And once they approve it, it will be taken for processing of payroll. So here also you will find your income is shown, your tax is shown, tax pending is shown, and how it is going to get deducted is shown. And it is still pending for approval. So once once this approval is done, then your proofs are accepted and the tax will be worked out based on your submitted proofs. Okay, here I have just given you a screen for reference. When you click on a submission, it will open Explorer window for you. You can select your copies of documents to be submitted. You can attach it and you can submit. So with this, your submission becomes complete. So whenever you are submitting, just ensure that you get this note, you have submitted your proof of investments. If you are in the stage of save, like where only you have submitted the details, but you have not submitted the documents, it will just tell you it is a draft investment. Okay. So like this, you will be completing your proofs. And once the proofs are submitted at our end and our checking is done, the tax computation will be available for you to see, and you can see how much tax is going to get deducted in the coming months. Now, while doing it, you can download the help file and can take help of it. See, here is one more screen I have attached here where it is clearly shown that how much was submitted by the employee, and it tells you why your tax liability is changing. Okay. Then last point is you can write to us at payroll@remunance.com if you have any queries, and our team will try to respond to each of your query with the right explanation. Okay. Along with this, I would also like to show you, share with you a list which talks about what proofs you can submit, and different sections under which you are going to submit are ATC, then interest and principal repayment of housing loan, different allowances for which you can have some deductions, then other section 80 deductions and HR exemptions. So we'll go one by one. I'll go over each of the points for which what document you can submit. So when we talk about ATC, you can submit the life insurance policy premium receipt. It can be in the name of self, spouse, and children. Okay, so one thing one has to remember here is the investment or the expenditure that you are providing should be during the period 1st April 21 to 31st March 22 or till the date of submission in 22. It cannot be for earlier years. We cannot consider any expenditure or investment which is done in the earlier years. So it will get rejected in that case. Then in case of PPF passbook, you have to provide the first page copy along with the actual payment copy, page copy. Then principal amount of housing loan is generally how banks provide projected housing loan certificate stating clearly what will be your principal repayment and what will be your interest repayment. Along with that, you will be required to provide details of your possession date so that you can get the benefit of interest and housing loan. Then mutual funds, it needs to be clearly stated that it is allowable or it is considered for ATC benefit. The statement should clearly state it that it is eligible for ATC benefit. Kids tuition fees is tuition fees paid for your children. You can get deduction under section ATC. The only thing those should be of the current financial year and those should be your own kids. Then NSC certificate tax saving deposit, then post office term deposit, all these are eligible, provided it clearly states that it is eligible under Section 80C. NSCR, of course, are eligible for benefit under Section 80C. Then Sukanya Samruddhi is one more such scheme of post office. Then if you have bought a new house during the financial year, then stamp duty and registration fee paid for that house can be considered as a deduction under 80C. So you need to give a proof of the actual fees paid. Then we come to 80D, which is medical insurance. In case of Remunance employees, we are covering employees under medical insurance. So these income, this insurance premium amount of medical insurance doesn't get added to the employee's salary and does not get deducted. So it's a tax neutral. However, if you have any other medical insurance other than the company insurance, then you can provide the document for the same and you will get deduction for the same. It is up to 25,000 rupees. If you are covering any of the seniors, additional 25,000 will be given. And if you have done any health checkups, then reimbursement up to 5,000 can be considered as a deduction. Section 24 talks about interest on housing loan. So you need to give the loan statement or bank certificate and the date of possession of the property. And when you also need a declaration that it's a self-occupied property. In that case, you cannot claim rental benefit. If you are claiming loan interest, then you cannot claim rental benefit. Some people who have not received yet the possession, but their EMIs have started, they cannot claim this interest because they have not received the possession yet. However, they can claim this interest once they get the possession of the property in next consecutive 5 years, this is 20%. So suppose somebody has started paying EMI and the interest amount is around 100,000, and however the property is not in possession or it's not yet ready, then that person can claim 20,000 each year after he or she gets the possession. So self-occupied house property means you are using the property, it is ready, it is in your possession, and in that case you cannot claim the rental benefit. House rent allowance is a calculation. See, whatever rent you paid, you do not get complete deduction for that. There's a formula in which the house rent allowance exemption is calculated. And in our tax sheet, whatever is available on the website, it clearly gives you details of that, like how the rent benefit is calculated. Here you need to remember that you have to provide the complete details of the landlord, address, then PAN number. PAN is a must because without that, you cannot get benefit of rent if the rent is above 8,333 per month. Similarly, you need to give the agreement copy and one rent receipt or all 12 receipts if you do not have any agreement. Education loan, if you're taking loan for yourself or your study, you can get deduction for interest paid on education loan. Bank generally gives certificate for that. Then NPS contribution is National Pension Scheme. If you're contributing to it, you need to provide the receipt for the same, and you'll get additional 50,000 deduction under Section 80C, 80CCD. This is over and above 1.5 lakhs. Okay. Then LTA, if your current salary structure has LTA in it, then you can claim the benefit of the actual travel expenses that you have incurred. It will be only for travel expenses, no lodging or boarding is covered in it. Again, travel, if it is by air, you need to give the boarding pass. And if the travel is by car, it will be considered equivalent to rail travel for that distance. And of course, shortest distance is always covered in this. So our team will work out the kilometers that you have traveled and will consider the rail ticket for that. And only that much benefit will be claimed by you. In case of LTA, it is always in block. So there is a block of 4 years stated by income tax. The earlier block was from 2018 to 2021, and the next block is from 22 to 25. You can claim 2 times in a block of 4 years. Then internet reimbursement. Some of the employees have internet and telephone reimbursement as part of their CTC. In that case, you will need to submit the telephone bills and internet bills. The bill should be in the name of the employee. If it happens that the bill is in the name of the spouse, then we can only consider 50% amount because it is quite likely that spouse is also claiming the benefit. And this is mainly because of the work from home situation we are considering this. Then section 80D is basically for handicapped dependents. If you have handicapped dependent brother, sister, children, spouse, then you can, or even the parent, you can get deduction up to 75,000 rupees if the disability is above 40% but less than 80%, and 1,25,000 if the disability is above 80%. However, it needs to be certified from the government hospital, and again it should be of the current financial year. It cannot be of earlier years. You need to get this certificate every year. Then under section 80U, you can claim the similar benefit if you yourself are a handicapped person. Okay. Then 80DDB, this is mainly for a very terminally ill diseases wherein the expenditure involved is huge, and again this needs a certificate from the surgeon or specialist or from a government hospital. Mainly a very critical diseases are specified, and in both the cases 80DD, 80U and 80DDB, we need 10 IA certificate from the doctor. And in case of 80DDB, it is linked to the actual expenditure incurred. So if you are incurring this expenditure for a senior citizen, it will be 100,000. And if it is for not a senior citizen, the maximum allowable expenditure is 40,000. So these are different benefits which a salaried person can claim by providing the requested proofs, and so that you can really get the tax benefit of it, and there will not be any excess tax deduction if the proper documents are submitted. So I suggest you to follow the timeline given from 8th of February to 20th or 22nd of February, and we will declare it, and there will be reminders from the portal, and then and then you can reach to us anytime if you think that you want to you have any questions or you're not clear on any of the points. You can write to payroll@remunance.com, and we'll try to respond you as early as possible. So do look into all these points to ensure that there is no excess deduction and your tax gets calculated correctly. Our effort will be to ensure that we deduct the tax to next 10 rupees or maybe to the possible exact amount as the system is working out. So that's all from my side. Now we can we can see if you have any questions. You can type the questions in the chat section, and we'll try to cover as many questions as possible. So till now, we do not have any questions in the chat. Okay, Sheetal, I'll just take you through to the first screen of my presentation. Just a minute. So this is the screen. See, whenever you log into the portal, you will get to see these options on the left hand side. In that, you have to click on the investment. Okay. And once you click on the investment, the screen will be open. And on the right hand side, if you see the arrow, need help with proof of investment, you can click on that and the help file will get downloaded. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. Then Victor, if I'm paying my wife, for my wife NPS, as can I claim tax rate? No, NPS has to be in the individual name. Okay, Victor. Then what if somebody is not married? Can their parents get the medical benefit instead of spouse and kids? No, I'm not clear on your question. Do you mean medical benefit in the form of from the company? Or is it for the proof that you are asking? I'm not clear on that. Currently, company does not have parents covered or even spouse and kids covered. It is only for the self. Yeah, currently it is only for the self. Currently, our policy is only for the self. Spouse and kids also are not covered. Yes, you have to provide all 12 rent receipts. Rohit, you need to provide all 12 rent receipts, and it should be if it is a cash payment, it has to be, it should have the revenue stamp on it. If it is a bank payment, then you can mention the check number or whatever, the way in which you have paid it. And if it is more than 8,333, you need to give the PAN of the landlord. If I'm paying rent, is it necessary to pay tax? I'm not clear on your question. If you are paying rent, you need to provide the details to us on the portal. So your tax will automatically, you'll get benefit of some deduction from your taxable income. I hope I have answered your question. And see, our time is limited. So if still some questions are not answered, then we will take them. Do send mail at payroll@remunance.com. I'm currently living at the rented place. I have bought a house and one EMI is deducted till now. The possession of the property is supposed to give at this Saturday. In this case, my rent payment should be considered along with principal and taxable amount of newly bought house. Yeah, you are right. If you're getting the possession in this financial year, till the time you have got possession, the rent will be considered. And after that, your EMI will be considered. Rent will not be considered for all 12 months, only will be up to the possession. Yeah, you need to file ITR if you have income about 2,50,000. Okay. Need to file ITR. Payment of tax will be based on your proof and your income, but filing of income tax return is mandatory if your income is about 2.5 lakhs in a year. Can we provide rent license copy instead of payment receipt? Yes, you need to provide one rent receipt if you have a rent agreement. Do I have to send a rent agreement? Yeah, you have to upload it. Just now I showed you like how you can attach the rent receipts or agreement. You need to do that. I think you were there at that time or you were not there. Are you sure? If you're not there, I'll just go back to that screen. Clarity on LTA. Okay, LTA, first thing is LTA should be part of the salary breakup, first thing. And secondly, if LTA is there as a part of your salary, and if you have done travel in India, then one trip will be considered as a part of tax benefit. And again, only the travel expenditure will be considered for giving tax benefit. If it is by air, it has to be supported by boarding pass. If it is by road, equivalent rail travel ticket will be considered for claiming the benefit. You can claim LTA benefit only 2 times in a block of 4 years. So every year you cannot claim LTA. Okay, I think this the call will stop now. So other questions, surely we will respond to each and every question. So please send it at on payroll@remunance.com. Okay. Thank you everyone for attending this. And I think now I need to stop because the time is getting over. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.